Welcome you into the ESPN FC studios. I'm Adrian Healy in the delightful company of Nedum Onuoha and Alejandro Moreno, reacting to, yet again, Lionel Messi dominating the show. Argentina beating Austria by 2-0. It was Lionel Messi 2, Austria 0. It leaves Argentina advancing to the knockout stages. They haven't actually sealed the victory in Group J just yet, but they are through to the knockout rounds, and no real prizes for guessing the narrative. Ali, I'll start with you. Lionel Messi, on a day which could have gone very differently for him, with the early penalty miss, ending up scoring 2 and getting the all-time record from Miroslav Klose.
Yeah, and you referenced that early penalty kick miss by Lionel Messi, and as shocked as we might have been, the stadium itself, you could sense the energy just kind of disappear from the Argentina fans, from the Argentina players. Is how does this happen? How can this happen? How could this player in this moment with the record in front of him miss a penalty? That doesn't happen. Well, he does, and he did. And I think Argentina took a little while to get themselves going after that, and so did the fans. Lionel Messi could have scored a hat-trick before he scored his first goal.
Yeah.
He's through on goal. He decides to take an extra dribble, unnecessarily so, loses possession, and you're thinking, maybe it's not his day. Maybe. The ball bounces off to him. The goalkeeper is out of the way. It's only one player between him and the goal is Alaba. He ends up clearing it off the line. So again, could have been and should have been a hat-trick before his first goal. And again, you're thinking, maybe it's not his day. It's always his day. It's always his day.
18 goals in World Cups, Nedum. The interesting thing is, he seems to be getting better as he gets older. I mean, the World Cup goal scoring is accelerated. He only scored 6 in his first 4 World Cups, including not scoring at all in 2010 in South Africa. But look what he's done in the last 2 editions.
Yeah, like a fine wine, isn't he?
Yeah, yeah.
It's roughly my age as well. You know, we're all the greats of our generation, I'm sure. But I think it's very easy to forget that certain parts of his career were sort of dogged by this question about being able to do it at a World Cup.
Right.
People saying, well, he can't be the best ever because Maradona did this and he's not doing that. He's not performing to his best. But I think the last 2 World Cups in particular have shown essentially like how big his legacy is going to be.
Yeah.
And I think at this time as well, you get a chance to see from all around the world how important he is to so many people. Not just those in Argentina, but for those who love the game of soccer itself as well. So yeah, for him to be scoring the goals in this manner, I think he scored all the goals for Argentina so far this tournament, which is a unique position for him to be in. But he seems to love it, the players around him seem to love it, and it's been good.
And I was loving your conversation between the two of you about how the rest of the Argentina team seemed to be totally supporting him and behind him and love him actually taking this.
It's adulation.
Yeah.
It's admiration. It's the willingness to say, listen, Leo, you don't have to run, buddy. No. Give us the slow jog all you want. You find your spaces. We'll regain possession of the ball, and we'll give it to you, and you problem solve with us. And it's a great place to be for other players. It takes all the pressure away from other players in terms of having to be the creative source or having to make decisions under pressure. No. You do the work, regain possession of the ball, then you give that ball to Lionel Messi and tell him, you do you, find us a solution, and more times than not, he finds that solution. But in terms of the admiration and adulation, it's not just the Argentina players. We saw post-match, I'm looking at the Austrian players. They just lost a World Cup match against Argentina 2-0. They've given up a late goal. Yeah, all right. What is their first reaction? Is to go and see Messi and make sure they don't just dab him up or, hey, all right, good game. No. Let me give you a hug. Let me give you an embrace. That doesn't happen for everybody at this level. And I don't know how to feel about that because there's a part of me that is very old school about what these games mean in terms of representing your national team. But the players just feel like the moment calls for them to appreciate and, again, almost bow down to Lionel Messi. I don't think I'm a big fan of that, but I can understand why the players would do it in the manner in which they do it.
And it's got to be particularly unusual at national team level, Nedum, when you've got a bunch of other superstars. Let's face it, these are superstar players too.
Yeah, for sure. But what I would say, because Ali's point is a good point, but it's the fact that they're doing it after the game. I think if, for example, they're doing it before the game, during the game, because we've seen that happen before at club level, I think that would feel a little bit different. But I think at the end of a game, to almost acknowledge somebody that's been so significant for the game of football, you know, it's not just significant for like this generation or say this team or CONMEBOL. Like it's football all around the world. So in some ways, I'm at peace with it because if I'd played in that game, all those Austrian players gave everything that they had.
Yeah.
Today, it obviously wasn't enough, and most days it probably wouldn't be enough. But an acknowledgement of like, you know, you are who you are of Lionel Messi. Credit to him. Not everybody was like begging for a shirt or anything like that.
No, and I just think there is a need and an understanding from players that they're seeing something historic.
Yeah,
for sure.
That there is historical significance to what they're witnessing. And I think there's an appreciation from some players that not only are they witnessing this, they're part of it. They're part of the history of this game. And we're seeing it in real time, and maybe we don't have the perspective of years to come to be able to say, man, that was something special. But I think all of us sitting here and the players on the field and the fans in the stadium and people watching on TV recognize this is different.
Yeah.
This is a different sauce altogether, and Lionel Messi provides all the flavor that you need.
Yeah, for sure. And I think to talk about, say, the history of it, because obviously lots of people love Messi, lots of people don't love Messi.
Yeah.
You know, some people that think he's not overrated, but he's overhyped to a certain extent. But what we witnessed today, beyond that, was somebody breaking the record and becoming the all-time leader in something that we hold so dearly, which is the World Cup itself.
Yeah.
And, you know, even from my perspective, I didn't play a ton of games in my career or a ton of significant games, but I remember the game I played against Lionel Messi. And that's something that I talk to, say, young people about, because for Messi, he's like an icon of the game, same way Ronaldo is. These are icons of the game. Certain stadiums, certain events, but there's certain people. And for everybody who's been on that pitch there, obviously the tournament can finish however it finishes, but they've actually become a part of history there. And maybe, actually, after the game, they're going to acknowledge and say, well done for, you know, for essentially having that record. And I think that's the right thing to do.
How would you rate the Argentina performance overall today?
Right, and so once we get off this Messi love wagon, right, and I think we're going to be riding it for a while, you also have to say, I don't think that it's a particularly good thing that this team has scored 5 goals and all of them have been Lionel Messi goals.
Yeah.
I still maintain that if this team are going to achieve the things that they think are capable of achieving, they're going to need a threat from somewhere else. Now, you think, okay, well, is that really necessary? Well, think back to last World Cup where Messi was outstanding, was a player of the tournament. He had all the magic moments for Argentina, but you had a guy like Angel Di Maria scoring a goal here and there, particularly in the World Cup final. And so I'm projecting as to what Argentina is going to be in the knockout stage. They're going to need an Angel Di Maria type sort of goal coming from somewhere. They're going to need productivity from Lautaro Martinez. They're going to need productivity from Julian Alvarez. There has to be some sort of productivity coming out of the midfield. We saw important goals being scored by midfielders, even by Nahuel Molina against the Dutch in the quarterfinals of the last World Cup. Enzo Fernandez scored an important goal against Mexico in the last World Cup. You're thinking about where is the offense going to come from if it's not Lionel Messi. So far, we haven't seen it. They haven't needed it. But in the knockout stage, I think it's a different story. They're going to need Messi, but they're going to need others as well to be a threat.
Yeah, do you think Lionel Scaloni would have loved Julian Alvarez to get off the mark, for instance, with that chance right at the end? That ended up being the second goal for Messi.
Yeah, I think for anybody that was coming off the bench, you want them to have an impact. And if you're coming on as Julian Alvarez, then this is the opportunity you need to try and take that. Because now, you know, maybe Scaloni's thinking about, is he the right fit for certain moments going forward? But to be more positive just a little bit from an Argentinian standpoint, that's 2 clean sheets in a row.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that, say on paper, they have the best defensive setup.
For clarification, I wasn't negative.
No.
I'm just saying.
I wasn't saying you were. Just
Okay,
trying
I'm
to
just
put
saying,
like
all
some
right.
spin on that because I totally agree with your point about other people needing to score.
Yeah.
But from a defensive standpoint, it's not necessarily about the individuals. At that point, I think it's the sum of their parts. And I think the commitment that they have and the fact that everybody around the pitch, you know, you could even say, to a certain extent, Messi, they're prepared to do whatever it takes to make it difficult for the opposition. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with Cristiano Romero, who had to come off injured. But if they maintain this sort of defensive momentum, then they'll always have a chance.
Emi Martinez did not have that much to do. One serious save to make in the entire game. So looking forward, now what does Lionel Scaloni do against Jordan? With qualification assured, they haven't ramped up the group yet. Every opportunity they will do so. Do you not play Lionel Messi against Jordan?
How dare you, Adrian?
Suggest such outrageous
yes. And yet I think that that's something that is very much on the table, depending, of course, what happens with Algeria and Jordan. And given if the result goes Argentina's way, it means that Argentina is already secure first place. And if they have done that, then there is no need to be playing Lionel Messi. Now, that's a choice that Lionel Scaloni can make. In terms of Messi, he was limping after he scored the second goal because he took a knock in having the sliding finish. maybe that's something you take a look at, but you just have to manage his minutes. It's a longer tournament. And so therefore, is there a need for him to be on the field? Absolutely 100% no. We assume Argentina are going to finish first in the group, and I don't see why you would risk it, unless, of course, Lionel Messi tells you, look, I'd rather play than having to train, right? I'll play an hour, get my touches on the ball, and get out of the way. I'd much rather play than just sit around and watch. But that's, I think, if you're Lionel Scaloni, this is a wonderful opportunity to say, Lionel Messi, my friend, we love you too much. We're going to protect you from yourself. Come here, get a massage, get taken care of, be ready for the knockout stage. That's where we need you.
And particularly in the context, Nedum, of who they may face in the round of 32, it's very likely to be Uruguay, could be Cape Verde if they. But anyway, whoever finishes second in that group will be Argentina's first opponent.
Well, Argentina are the number one ranked side in the FIFA rankings, and they're essentially going to be there for a reason.
Yeah.
They have the quality, they have the individuals, they have the fact that they're trying to hold on to their title. That's the main thing. They are the defending champions, so whoever comes along their way, I think they'll be ready for them. And also the fact that those teams we're talking about, Cape Verde and Uruguay, I think the fact we're talking about Cape Verde says a lot about the state of Uruguay, in my opinion.
Good point.
So I think Argentina, whoever they face from that side, I think they'll be okay.
Has anything changed in your overall assessment of them since the start of the competition? They were pretty much full fifth favourites, weren't they?
From my perspective, I'll be honest, I haven't covered all of world football, but getting a chance to see CONMEBOL, and Ale's been brilliant in terms of understanding how each team is working, and he said which teams are the better ones and which ones aren't, and you can see the gap between Argentina and lots of these other sides, because some of CONMEBOL's been very, very disappointing.
Yeah.
But you look at Argentina, and it's like you can almost see that they can go through the gears, and that's why they finished top, I believe.
We talk a lot about Messi, and rightfully so. Right? There is no doubt that we have to talk about Lionel Messi. But I think underreported in all of this is that across every single line in this team, you have elite level players. And so we should not be surprised that this team has balance, that they can defend, that they can tackle, they can win different types of game. And in the end, if you need a difference maker, they don't have to search. There are many teams in this World Cup that have to search for the difference maker. Who is the guy that is going to change the game for us? Argentina knows very well who that guy is, and everybody knows their role. This is a continuation of what we saw in the last World Cup. They continue to execute at a high level, so you expect Argentina to certainly go deep in this tournament, and if indeed they're going to go deep in this tournament, while I've spoken about the need to have productivity from everybody else, you still need the moments of magic from Lionel Messi.
And as we've said many times, it's been since 1962 since someone has successfully defended the World Cup. You wouldn't bet against them right now, would you? Great stuff, guys. Nedum, Ali, ESPN FC coming up later on tonight. We'll be reacting to the rest of the day's games and obviously previewing what's coming up tomorrow as well. 10 o'clock Eastern start time on ESPN+.